Hello and welcome along to episode 3 of this Cliftonville series from FM20 with me, Daniel. We're trying to take the Northern Irish side to domestic glory and as much European success as possible. And we're back today for our first ever domestic competitive game with the club. It's the first game in the Irish Premiership. It's Cliftonville v Ballymena United. And we're waiting to see if our new signings will help us domestically. What we're essentially trying to do is be the best of the rest because there are 3 professional sides in Northern Ireland. Linfield, who have been there for years and are going to be the champions this season. To give you a little point in case as to how good they are, let me just show you Bastian Harry. He is a quality player. He's League 1 level, maybe even Championship standard. We can't compete with that. And they've got others up there as well. David Healy, Northern Irish legend, is the manager. And then there's Larne, who have had money pumped in, who are coming up to the top tier. And Crusaders, who have just turned professional after a great year. They sold on Gavin White in real life a year or 2 ago. And have now been able to invest in becoming professional. They'll hope that'll improve their European performances. And it's also meant they can steal one of our best transfer targets. We had 4 players that we desperately wanted when we started this window. We got 3 of them. And Crusaders nicked the other. So we've still got a little way to go, but we're going to meet all the new signings today and play our first league game. So if you are looking forward to that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for regular content from this series and all the other FM20 stuff on the channel. And weekly live streams continue every Tuesday at 10 AM. So please do pop along if you're able to. Thank you so much for your incredible support with the new one. I really do appreciate it as we get into our domestic season. So firstly, before we go and get into this, you might be a bit worried that you've missed an episode because we said we were going to come back for the second leg of the tie against the Israelis in the Europa League. So let me just show you that quickly. The reason we didn't come back is because we were 5-2 down and we thought we were out of it. And you'll be able to see some of the brilliant signings there, including a couple of familiar names, but we'll meet them in detail in a moment. But then in the second leg that I didn't show, we nearly made the greatest comeback ever. It was a 4-2 victory in the end, and with 3 minutes to go, we caused a grandstand finish. A brace for McMenamin and 1 each for Gormley and new signing Thomas Stewart. That made things very comfortable for us. So I've got to be honest, we nearly got through in the end, just 1 goal away. But it's all about domestic action now. We've got to have a good season, and I'd like to ideally compete with Larne and Crusaders, who are newly professional, and be behind Linfield and probably competing for Europe again. So for those who aren't familiar, we'll learn a bit more about the Northern Irish League and how it works in terms of European qualifying and etc. as we go on. We'll also meet the 2 cups as we go through the year. There's plenty for us to get into. However, we've got to start with transfers because there is a big long list. There's a few who are potentially going out as well, as we've been able to strengthen a bit more than we thought. So firstly, on the outs list, there's absolutely loads of them. So from here down is when we joined the club. We were down to, I think, these guys once we came in for our last episode. And since then, 4 more players have left the club, but this time, all first teamers going out on loan. So Tom Maguire, who is a backup right winger, he's a youngster who's gone on loan to Halifax in the National League, £130 a week, and they're paying all of it. Second was Aaron Harkin, a backup midfielder. He's gone to Dungannon a bit further down the league, and that's something we'll do as we get stronger in this division. Once we become the top side, we then give our players to the other Irish sides to strengthen the league, strengthen hopefully the European coefficient and the quality that comes into the country. So Harkin's part of that. He's gone to Dungannon on loan. They're paying his £180 a week. Rowan Doherty has gone back south to Shelbourne. He's playing in the League of Ireland now. £180 a week, again being paid by them. And Gary Breen, who was the third choice centre-half, has gone to Waterford on loan. Again back south of the border. And at 2-star and 30 years of age, he had to go. He wasn't going to be good enough. And that's because, as well as the targets we wanted to get in, we've managed to get some good loan players as well. So I've tried to work on getting young players, saving a bit of money, and also trying to improve the club quickly. Our head of youth development has been signing a few 16 and 17 year olds as well, so we've actually got quite a lot to be excited about. So we're going to start with the 3 that joined before the last episode, but that we didn't want to meet because they weren't involved in that first European tie. So there's obviously one very big name in the middle, but let's go through all of them. First is Craig Story, who came in from Aberdeen, had a year without football for some reason, but 3.5 ability, 4.5 potential, a really solid central midfielder. Probably I'd argue about an attribute point worse than that Harry that we just looked at for Linfield across the board. He's a ball-winning midfielder, can play box-to-box, central midfield, played in 2 Europa League games against the Israelis and looked good. He's on 450 quid a week, one of the highest earners, and at 23 has still got room to improve. So he was the first of 4 players we immediately identified we wanted, and he was the first one of those to join us. The second was Alex Bruce, and these ones are the crucial ones. He's going to decline physically this year, he's going to get worse, but he's an international player for Northern Ireland. He played 2 games, obviously as Steve Bruce's son, has played in England, in the Premier League, Championship, in the SPL, he's played at the top level. He's come in, he did okay in the European games, and again for 1 year on £450 a week. This is the sort of player that's crucial to these saves, whether you're managing a small nation and you're trying to get the internationals in. Because when we're towards the end of this year, looking for players who are going to be released perhaps by English clubs or Scottish clubs that are Northern Irish, they'll look at us and say, actually, of all the semi-pro teams, Alex Bruce is here, and he's an Irish international, so we might come back down here. And that's what we're trying to look at, because while we can't compete with the 3 professional clubs, this is what can make us the best of the rest when it comes to signings. And the third of the players that we wanted in was Thomas Stewart, on £500 a week, not the best striker in the world, 3-star ability, 3-star potential, again a 1-year deal, former under-21 international and was playing for Larne as they got promoted last season. But most crucially for him, he's a target man, and we didn't have that before. So giving us a proper player who can be a focal point really has helped Joe Gormley, and he's got a couple of goals himself. So with Thomas Stewart at the helm, I think we can have a good strike partnership this year. So they're the 3 signings we wanted and got. The one that got away, however, to Crusaders, if we go and have a very quick look at them, is the one that I was most excited about, if I'm being brutally honest. And that man is Callum Nickel, a 19-year-old Irish player, central midfielder, and he just had everything. He was the playmaker which we like to have. He was good mentally, he was strong physically, and a good passer of the ball. And at 19, he could have become a star. Released from Leeds, but he took the professional deal, and you can't blame him for doing so. We could only offer up to $450 a week, and he got a bit more money as well. So certainly no disappointment in him taking it. It strengthens the league that he stayed in Northern Ireland, but I'm disappointed he's not playing with us this season. However, we did soon make up for that for the European ties by getting Billy Mitchell on loan from Millwall. 3-star ability, 5-star potential, an English 18-year-old. I'm really surprised we were able to get him, to be honest. He's maybe not the best player across the board, but has some really good attributes. And he's most importantly got a good personality. So I feel like as a squad player this year, he'll be very good. And perhaps he might break through to the first team if he improves. And don't forget, although we're a part-time club, he's on a full-time contract with Millwall, so he'll be training with us all the time. And that brings us on to a few of the youngsters that have come in. Jackie Douglas was the first, 16-year-old holding midfielder, 1.5 ability, 3-star potential, on a free agent deal for 10 quid a week. It's worth the gamble, so fair play to the head of youth development. The same goes for Sean Coyle, 1.5 ability, 3.5 potential, left midfielder this time, and again, has the key attributes, just needs a bit of work personality-wise. And then third on that list, we'll skip the loan players, of Stefan Harrison, a centre-half and right-back, 1-star ability, 3-star potential. Again, it's the personality that's letting him down a little bit, but otherwise has the key attributes again. And finally, so far, Billy Hogg, another holding midfielder, 1-star ability, just 2.5 potential this time, but for 10 quid a week, again, well worth the gamble. So 4 of those bulking up our youth team, but we've also got 3 more loan players to look at. And this is where we start to get really excited. Our director of football found some stars, the new scouting team was getting to work, and we just felt like we were moving along. So Saul Shotton is the first of them, a lone centre-half from West Brom, 3.5 ability, 5-star potential, a new partner for Alex Bruce, has that bit of pace, has the balance of the left-sidedness, and we've still got Jamie Harney as the backup. So I'm really pleased with where we are here. A really good central defender and the perfect balance for the experienced Bruce. Has played for Bury in the Football League, has come through at West Brom, and he's going to be a great signing for us. Second is Toby Edser, a central midfielder on loan from Nottingham Forest, 4-star ability, 5-star potential, basically Nickel but on loan. He's a deep line playmaker, he's gone with Woking in the National League, he's played for Port Vale, he's played for Nottingham Forest as a youngster, and now he's spending a year at Cliftonville, where I think he's going to be first choice. A really good passer of the ball and solid across the board. And then the last man to come in, which we've taken again pretty similarly to those of you who remember the Macclesfield save, we brought in Aaron Bolger because he didn't have any wage contribution, and it's the same in this universe. So why on earth wouldn't we bring him in? He's an Irish youngster, he's played first team football at Shamrock, He's gone to Cardiff and couldn't break in. 3.5 ability, 5-star potential, a great squad player, really good for the bench, will get the odd bit of game time. And to me, at 19, for no wages at all, that meant we could loan out Harkin and Doherty, which, to be fair, that's going to be what, 200 quid a week a pop. So we're saving money and getting a slight upgrade. That is exactly what we like to see. So that's been our transfer window. I wouldn't expect a lot more to be done, but I'm really pleased with that window. We've still got a few of our young players in the squad who will get a chance, and we've got great balance alongside them too. We've got a few staff additions to help them develop as well. We've worked really hard on the coaching side of things. So we've got a new assistant manager in Patrick McAllister. He's not the best judge of ability and potential, but he's good at working with youngsters and he's a good attacking coach as well. And then we've also brought in Scott Robinson as a coach. He's great at fitness, good at technical, good at mental. That's what we wanted. Someone who could keep people physically fit while working part-time. And in the other ones, we've brought in some reserve coaches. Philip Llewellyn, solid across the board. David Morgan, a senior coach. He's great with the goalkeepers and tactically too. We've just got ourselves a real upgrade across the team. And I feel like with the situation we're in and the fact we're part-time and we've got a small budget and a small number of allocations, we've done as well as we possibly can. So let me know what you think of all the staff and player additions in the comments below. And where do you think we're going to finish this year? Because the media have had a slight change of heart. If we go and have a look at them, they now think we're going to finish 4th. So behind Linfield and Crusaders, 2 of the professional clubs, above promoted Larne, who are professional too, and below Glentoran, who won the cup in real life. They've got the likes of Rory Donnelly, Sean and Clucas, who we interviewed on the podcast recently. They've got some real good players. Navin Nasseri, he's just gone to Linfield in real life. They're a good side. So we'd expect them to do really well. However, we've got a good side that can compete. So really, after Linfield and possibly Crusaders, it's anyone's game at the top there. So let's see if we can make ourselves best of the rest. We're up against Ballymena first today, a mid-table side, a restricted budget, but usually play very direct and very well. So let's see how we get on with our first 11, as I've put together what I think is our strongest squad. So one of the things you can see immediately, we stuck with the same tactic, but equally, we've made sure that we've gone for a fairly small squad this year because we haven't got Europe and we've got those 4 under-18s who are good enough to be on the bench. So as long as it's 11 of these 18 or 19 starting, I'm pretty happy. So the likes of Bolger and Mitchell have made it onto the bench, the new signings. We've still got Harney, who we thought was going to be our star centre-half, McCrudden, who was a good striker, and a few of the young players as well. And apart from the goalkeeper, we're strong across the board. But the keeper's crucial. He's experienced and he's solid. And that's why we wanted to keep him there. So our lineup for today in full is Brush in goal. We've got McDermott and Ives the fullbacks with Shotton and Alex Bruce the centre-halves. Chris Curran on the right wing, Story and Edza the new midfield partnership, McMenamin over on the left, and then Stewart the target man alongside Gormley up front. 4 goals in 4 games in the Europa League, and hopefully a bucketful more to come in the Premiership today. So let's go and get into it. We're playing wide, we're playing quick, and we're getting crosses in, because we have got quality players up front. So let's get the ball into the box and see if we can get goals against Ballymena. Let me know how you think we'll get on. Ballymena, who themselves had a pretty decent Europa League campaign. Leckie was scoring goals for fun. They've got Winchester in the middle, a good player, and an experienced back 3. It's going to be an interesting match, actually. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go because it's an unusual formation that Ballymena play. So we're going to ask the lads to do what they can. We're going to encourage them. And we're going to try and get on the front foot. So into the tunnel interview we go. And let's hope the first half is a good one. It's a corner early on. Edsa's taking it, just 5 minutes on the clock. To the back post, it's dropped down to Stewart. And Thomas Stewart puts it in. It was Gormley knocking it down. Probably the opposite way to what we envisaged. The little poacher knocking it down and the target man volleying it in. But I don't matter how they come, to be honest. Is McDermott with a throw on the right again. Back to Curran. McDermott punts it forward. We're not going too short. We don't mind being direct if we need to. Gormley lays it back to Alex Bruce, though. Out to the right back McDermott. And he punts it forward, but it's straight to Addis. Barmer, Addis again. Gets the ball forward, and we've got to make sure we win that. And with Alex Bruce there, that's no problem at all. Story picks it up. Goes all the way back to the keeper. And you can see, although we are fairly direct, compared to some of the sides in Northern Ireland, we're going to be playing some decent stuff still. As McMenamin gets it on the left, cutting in. Oh, it's a great effort from distance. Just wide of the post, and it remains 1-0. But it's been a brilliant start from Cliftonville. It's one of the things you notice about this league. It's end-to-end, it's entertaining, it's direct. It's one of the things I love about it. Quite often they show the games on Friday night on BBC Northern Ireland. It's absolutely brilliant to watch. You're guaranteed goals and you're guaranteed goal-mouth action. As Ives heads away a long goal kick, it's only gone to McGrory on the right though, and Ballymena have a chance here. And we're still a little susceptible at the back as it's into the edge, and Miller puts it just wide of the post. But our first scare of the match, though Ballymena don't hit the target. And with nearly 20 on the clock now, we've got a goal kick with Brush, which is long to the right towards Gormley. Does well to win that header to Curran, and he's back to Gormley in that right channel again. The target man's in there if he can find him. Crosses block to Curran. Stewart on the end of the cross, and it's just over the bar from the target man. I can see Glentoran are being held by Institute at home. That's a bit of a weird one. Lana on the road at Glenarvan there, 1-0 up. And we're now defending a Winchester cross. Up to Lecky, who heads over the bar. And this is starting to become a bit more end-to-end now. And I tell you what, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because Ballymena are coming into this. But we've got a throw on the left, and a second goal would be the perfect antidote to our worries. McMenamin crosses it. Headed away, only as far as Miller, but he's going to run away with it for Ballymena. So 2-on-2 momentarily, and Miller's going all the way down this left-hand side. Cuts it into Donnelly, through ball to Lecky, and our defence completely parted. But Brush is there, and it's straight at him. Ballymena completely dominant at the moment, and I'm not quite sure how this has happened. Because we were brilliant in the first 15 minutes, and now Ballymena are unlucky not to be level. We do lead 1-0 at half-time, so we're going to encourage the boys. We're going to try, I'm not quite sure what to do actually, because it's a little bit bizarre how this has unfolded. We're going to go positive. We're just going to try and get on the front foot and push Ballymena back. And immediately we've got a chance in this second half. Story tries to cross, but it's blocked to McDermott, the wing-back. Header's gone away and Miller volleys it downfield. And that's the problem. Ballymena have got two up front and it's against two defenders. And Alex Bruce isn't keeping up there as Lecky puts it wide. And I've worked out what we've got to do. Levi Ives is going to drop to a full-back on defend. Because where they're leaving two up, we need to have three back. So Ives is going to go back to that position. And we are going to make sure that he sits a bit narrower. So we're just going to sit him in. So it's almost like we've got three centre-halves. That's what I'm trying to work with. And hopefully that will pay dividends. As Richard Brush pays out from the goal kick. Long ball forward. It keeps going towards Gormley rather than Stewart. And I'm not sure why, because Stewart is the target man. Miller gives it to Winchester though, and McDermott intercepts the through ball. Good play there. To McMenamin on the left. Chance to nick a second at the other end. A really entertaining first game of the season, and Addis nicks it off him. But Ives heads it into Edsa. Good football in the middle, finds Ives. Over the top and headed away. That long ball football just not working for us at the moment. As McCrory gets it over to Lecky. He's beaten the centre half and he's in one-on-one. Lecky puts it wide and Ballymena continuing to create chances. Hour on the clock, free kick from the left from McMenamin. He's headed away and now Lecky can counter. We look so vulnerable to the counter-attack. Curran does brilliantly there, but he only delays the inevitable. As Miller takes them all on, Ives tries to bring him down, doesn't win it. What's gone on there? Shotton has won the tackle brilliantly. And he's been booked and a penalty's given. No VAR here. He's not been booked in fact. But that was a brilliantly timed challenge. How on earth has that been given? Irving, the centre-half, scores the penalty down the middle. And I am so annoyed that we've conceded that because we have been absolutely solid at the back. And Saul Shotton makes a brilliant tackle and ends up giving it away. And this is turning out to be our hardest game of the season. As it's Ballymena on the front foot again. Addis to Lecky. McGrory on the right wing. Crosses in. McDermott heads away. But it's going straight to another Ballymena shirt. We're getting absolutely outclassed now. We started this game so strongly. And we've completely collapsed. I've no idea how. But with 20 to go, it's 1-1 and we're on the back foot. So we're going to make some changes in the middle. I'm going to bring Bolger on as a ball winner. Just to try and get it back. We need to make some other changes there as well. But I'm not sure how to. McMenamin on the left replaced by McCrudden. He will become an inside forward, almost making it like a front three. And then I don't know what we do for the third one. We could bring on the right winger, but I think for now we'll just leave it. We'll give it 10 more minutes and then we'll make a judgment. Glendinning, the goalkeeper, with a long ball forward for Ballymena. Donnelly's on the left wing and there is no pressure whatsoever on him. McDermott nicks it though, gets there eventually and does well, but Gormley heads it straight back to them. McDermott wins another challenge though, really good play from the fullback. Finds Edsa, up to Stewart, flicks it on and Irving volleys it clear. Shot and heads away, and this is proper football now. End-to-end stuff, direct stuff, and Winchester's put 3-0 in. Ballymena 1-on-1 and Brush makes a good save. We are getting beaten far too easily, so do you know what? Let's drop that defensive line because I think it's causing us a bit of trouble now. We just have to get something out of this game because we're getting outclassed at the moment. What on earth is happening in this game? And it's another throw for the visitors. They are all over us here. Donnelly into Miller. It's a good challenge. He's given another pen, has he? No. Edsa goes away with it. Brush saves. It's back to Leckie. And he's put it straight at Brush. It was a golden opportunity. How on earth have they missed that? We're going to make another change, and I don't actually know what to do, to be brutally honest. We're getting completely outclassed, and we don't look like we can compete at the back. How on earth do you do anything about it? I think we have to take Bruce off. He looks nervous. Harney's going to come on. We're going to stick with balanced, and we've got a corner with Edsa. It'd be a great time to nick one, as it's into Gormley, and his header hits the bar and goes wide. A good effort from the Northern Irishman, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. We're going to demand more with 10 left. A few of the lads are focused, a couple still nervous. And this has given me food for thought. And we're certainly not going to win the league this year. Because we have been outclassed by Ballymena, who are a mid-table side with respect. It's a header away from Shotton. Finds the ball back out to Addis. And it's a good challenge from Bolger. But it's only into the winger again. McCrory gets it. Oh, he scored. 90th minute, McCrory scores. And now we're just going all out. I am furious with this performance. After the first 15 minutes, we have been absolutely diabolical. And I have no idea where it's come from. I really don't. So we're going to get as far forward as possible, try and nick a result. But this has turned into a disaster class on our first day at Cliftonville. The top half's going to be hard at this rate, because good players doesn't mean a good team necessarily. So let's get all of the attributes back up. The roles and duties are going to be increased. Wing back on attack for McDermott. Support duty for Edsa. And let's just throw the last 3 minutes at it. But nothing happens, and Ballymena style wins the day. I actually don't know what to say about that. A 2-1 defeat at home to Ballymena United, a disastrous start for Cliftonville. The first 15 minutes were sublime, and after that we've been atrocious. So the first day of the season, after all that excitement about great transfers, great signings, there's a lot of youth in that team though, and they've got a lot to learn about direct men's football, and that's what they're going to learn this season. We've just got to hope we can still get in the top 6. Once they settle, they should improve, the cohesion should get better, the managerial support should increase, and hopefully with it, the dressing room will get behind us. But that was not the start we were looking for. So we're going to leave it around a month. We'll probably come back for the Crusaders game, the last game of the month on the 31st. The end of the transfer window, and of course the professional side that nicked one of our key signings. Would he have controlled the game today? It's hard to say, but there is a lot of food for thought. So great European performances, but not replicated domestically. And we've got to go back to the drawing board here with Cliftonville. So if you did enjoy this episode and that disappointment on the opening day of the Premiership season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I hope you're enjoying our stint in Northern Ireland. It's a great league and I'm really looking forward to this save. If your views changed since that game, let me know in the comments where you think we're going to finish now and just how hard is this going to be. Hopefully we'll get to form sooner rather than later. And we'll be able to start showing what we're really about. If you haven't already, subscribe down below for daily FM20 content, as well as weekly live streams and much, much more. Check out the podcast channel in the eye above too. We've got interviews with some players from this league, both past and present. And we've also got matchday vlogs featuring the Northern Irish League there as well as predictions and much, much more there too. So thanks again for your support with the new series and the channel in general. I really am enjoying this save. And it's going to be a challenge, as you've probably seen today. Anyone can beat anyone at this level, and we've got to make sure we win more often than not. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time for the recovery.